Hey, today I'm going to be reviewing The Eye of the Oracle by Bryan Davis. It's the first book of the Oracles of Fire series, which is a Christian fantasy series. It is my favorite series that he's written, and it is probably one of my two favorites within that series, closely tied with the final book. This book really it means so much to me. And I'm probably going to have spoilers in this review, relatively mild ones, but it is what it is. If you don't want to watch the rest of the review to avoid spoilers, that's okay. But I don't think I'll ruin any of the experience if you do decide to listen. So when I read this book for the first time as a teenager, the main character just really resonated with me. And I couldn't really explain at the time why she resonated with me so much. I just knew that I felt seen when I read her story, and I really just felt a kindred spirit in her, this fictional character. But during the book, she experiences the loss of her twin sister. And she spends literal thousands of years alone in the darkest pits of hell. And I know that Bryan Davis was not looking to describe the womb twin experience when he wrote this book, but somehow he managed to do it perfectly. And I read it at a time that I really needed it, but didn't know why I needed it. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cry. I have literally tried like 6 takes and can't get through this. So I'm gonna try to push through on this one. A lot of times, womb twin survivors in media are played off as a joke or just an interesting fact without having the character actually be written to feel things and act the way a womb twin survivor would. And so even though Sapphira is not a womb twin survivor, I did feel the kindred soul who had lost her sister. And it came before my mom told me, and so I didn't really understand why I felt such a kinship with Sapphira. But I really, really did, and I've always been grateful for that. This book really does hold a really special place in my heart. But more importantly, I think these books gave me hope more than just feeling seen. During the time that Sapphira is in the pits of hell, there is a time that even though that is where she is, she experiences a moment where she experiences God, and she is seen, and she knows that there's a purpose and that there's a plan. But the thing is that God doesn't remove her immediately from her suffering. He leaves her there because there is a point to her being there. There's a time when she's needed to come out of that experience, and it's all timed perfectly. So it really drove home the point when I needed it, that even though you feel alone, when you feel unseen, when you feel alone and unseen, God hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't abandoned you. And even though you can't see it, there's a reason. Like I said, I read this book exactly when I needed it. And I'll always be grateful for this book. I know that a lot of readers won't have the same experience with it that I did, but I still feel that the message is one worth reading. The story is one well worth reading. And ultimately, it's just a small part of that book verse that honestly is just one of my favorite things that I've ever read. For more reasons than this, I could just go on and on about Dragons in Our Midst and the connected books if you let me. So yeah, anyone who likes fantasy should definitely check out these books. They're wonderful.